everybody who needs help is on welfare. Not everybody there's just this, I don't know, this exception, where people think just because, you need help or you're not doing what you're supposed to. I have 2 kids, 2 and 7, and I wasn't able to do my son's birthday because I have to pay my rent. My rent's $825 a month. I would love to find a cheaper place, but I want to be in a safe home. My bills, they come up to about $300 now for electric. It's $200 for Ameren. I work at a job where I make $8.50 an hour. I work at a second job where I make $7.50 an hour. I do try, but it is hard. And but you should never stop trying. That's definitely something people should know.
Well, I'm a mother of 3 kids. That's struggling. I work full time. I was working a lot of overtime to kind of offset some of the costs to be able to provide for the family, but overtime has been taken away, so I've lost about $1,000 in income a month, which has really hurt us. It's almost put us out of our home. We almost lost our home. My husband just had his 2nd surgery on his knee.
The job that I have, which is a blessing again, my money is already accounted for. So if I'm not paying my rent, if I'm not paying my car note, if I'm not paying my insurance, if I'm not paying for Pampers or diapers and things like that, household stuff, school supplies, daycare assistance, and so forth, I really don't have too much to really take me throughout the month. I feel that it's more important to have those things paid for than to just get the things that I want.
I'm a single parent. I recently became a single parent of 2 daughters. My youngest is 6, and I was granted full sole custody and, of course, child support, the whole 9 yards, but I know I'm never going to see that because she won't work or anything. But throughout the last year, almost a year and a half, been going through this divorce, and with the lawyers, and at the end of it, I probably spent at least $9,000 now on court costs, lawyer fees, and then of course you want to throw in gas and everything else, stuff like that increases the amount too. And I had a decent job. Started out $14.50 an hour until I was forced to switch shifts because of lack of daycare. They said I made too much money for any sort of daycare, and there's no way I could afford it on my own, so I switched shifts to first shift, reduced my pay down to $13 an hour. It's pretty good, but my outgoing and the bills was still far more than my incoming.
And I knew that my health was starting to deteriorate, so I needed some kind of, some insurance, which I could not afford because at that time I was unemployed. When I got here, I was put in a shelter, and it was not that bad, but it was hard to find a job because people see you stay in a shelter and they think you're a transient. You're just passing through. So mostly everybody that, you went to apply for a job, they look at you and they see that you're living in a shelter. Not many people will hire you.
I am a single parent of actually 3 children. My oldest is 21. I have a 12-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter. I receive no child support. I've worked since I was 14 years old, and I have endured a lot of struggles.
It's been 8 months since I've been incarcerated. We were doing really well, keeping our stuff together, and accidents happen and mistakes happen, and I've made mistakes in my life, and I'm paying for them. But I wanted to thank these people here at the Energy Assistance and helping us getting our power and stuff turned back on, and it's really helped because it's been really stressful out here.
I am a single mother of 1 child. I have been working since I was 14 years old. I've recently became a mother 6 years ago.
I worked for a lot of years, several different jobs, mostly related to healthcare and transportation, until I found myself in a physical crisis, and I was raising a disabled child for most of my life too.
I'm just working myself to death, but I tell myself going to school for nursing has to be the way out, and I keep that in my mind. I just recently had a job. Well, I'm still here now. I had got promoted to a lead position, which would have been paying me a lot more money. But guess what? I had to give it up because of school. I'm 2 years in school. I don't want to give that up.
But you got a job. What did you do with your money? Hold on for a second. And then I just pull over a list of things of where I spend my money. And I feel like based off of that, if you can show proof that, your bills and everything is caught up and everything is, where it's supposed to be with the money that you work for, I don't see it should be a problem with giving those who work a little bit more help.
Without the child care, I could not leave my 6-year-old home alone by herself. And according to them, I made too much money for any child care. So I was forced on 4 separate occasions to call into work and say, I have my 6-year-old daughter, I can't leave her home alone. I have to stay home and arrange something. And so they said, and then I recently, because I switched shifts and got a new supervisor, I thought they were doing reviews and such. They reviewed my case, and because I called in that many times because I couldn't find a babysitter and didn't make enough for one and didn't have any assistance, I lost my job.
The thing about it is just sometimes we don't have the babysitting as an optional resource for us during hours that aren't business hours, and sometimes we have to find jobs that require for us to be there during the evening.
I applied for a job 4 times, and the guy kept telling me the same thing, oh no, we're not hiring. But the next week you see the same sign on the window, they're hiring. Then they find out, oh, we thought you was Mexican. I mean, not that I'm, being picky, but, I tell them, I say, I'm a U.S. citizen. I was born a citizen, But they look at you and they see, oh, you're an immigrant, you just come in here to take our jobs and stuff like that. And it's hard on people like me, after you serve your country and you come back here, and this is what you'll be faced with.
And how do you empower people? Well, you empower them with housing, you empower them with employment, you empower them with finances or help with their finances.
I'm really proud of my girlfriend. She's done really well by herself out here, doing the best she can with our 4 kids and herself, and I'm really proud of her. I wanted to say thank you.
So I raise a family of 5 on about bringing home $1,800 a month. I pay for my own insurance. I do not receive any food stamps. There's no assistance that will help me because I'm in that threshold of making too much but not making enough.
I make $9.50 an hour. I work 12-hour shifts. I barely get to see my children. I'm barely able to get up half the time because 12 hours are very hard to do. Plus, I try to balance school in between because I want to give them a better life and have a better education. But still, with all of that, I still have to make sure I cook, I clean, I do laundry. I still have to make sure I have the time to do their homework, make sure they're doing well in school. As a single parent, it is a lot. It's a lot. I barely have time to think sometimes. I wish it was 2 of me sometimes. It's just so much to do.